Listen well, all of you.
What we're about to tell you are real life ghost stories. So, Jess and I, what we're about to tell you guys is real. Now, not everyone believes in ghosts. We do, for sure, because we both have experiences with it. And that's what usually takes a lot of people to finally understand or believe in spirits, ghosts, the supernatural world, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, bitch! Specters! I'm sorry.
But our stories that we're about to tell you are real and have actually happened. You might think we're crazy, but we're not. I used to live in an apartment, and the apartment itself, or the entire house, is over 100 years old. So it's very old, it's creepy, whatever. So when I was 8 years old, I was upstairs sleeping, and there was only 4 people in my house, including myself, and everyone else was asleep, and I checked. Well, I woke up to someone playing my piano downstairs in my living room. All the lights were off. A whole song was playing. It was like a classical piece of music. It was the most freaky ass thing I've ever heard, and that was just super creepy.
It sounds super creepy. So, when I was little, I used to live in Stoneham. Not Stoneham, Stoneham. Thank you very much. And I guess when I was little, I used to tell my mom about this imaginary friend I had that would come out of the closet and play blocks and stuff with me. And so one day my mom's just going through, old photo albums, and she comes across this picture of, an older man in like a fedora and a suit. And I'm like, that's my imaginary friend. And it turns out it was my dad's grandpa, who had died long before my dad was ever even born. So, I played with dead people, bitch.
That's really freaky, but really cool.
A little bit.
Another thing that has happened in my life is this clock. Now, my family's had this clock for a long time. It was my great-grandmother's. It's at my house right now. Weird things have happened with that. During certain events, it stops. It just completely stops on this time. And each time this clock stops, something terrible happens in my family, whether that's death, which sounds really awful, or not as bad, and I don't know if it's cursed or what. It's just a very weird coincidence or something supernatural.
A couple years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, I lived in a different house than where I live now. So I was about like 13 or 14. And sometimes I'd wake up in the middle of the night for no apparent reason. It was usually at like 3:12. And I'd hear footsteps in the hallway outside my door. And my doorknob would start jingling like someone was trying to open it. And I'd hear footsteps in the attic, and I was like, oh, hell no. And I still feel like that when I think about it, because it's so creepy. You're the only one up at night, and then all this shit is happening to you. You just want to be like, Mom, get me out of here.
Now, this stuff is, like, when it happens to you, it's just very strange and scary, but at the same time, it's really cool.
It is.
It's kind of a cool experience if it happens to you.
Sometimes you kind of just like freeze up, like,
Yeah, like, oh my god, what was that?
We're not alone, Joe.
Another thing in my family was this angel ornament music player that was my great-grandmother's. She passed away about 10 years now, and after she passed away, my mother got some of her belongings, and one of the things she got was this angel that played Silent Night. And for about 5 years after my great-grandmother's passing, it would go off and play on her birthday. And it did this for like 5 years, and it was just like a really weird thing. But it was kind of special too, because like that was a symbol of knowing she was there with us.
Back at the other house where, the doorknob and footsteps, all that jazz was going on, when my mom came home from work, she would put the keys on the washing machine, and she would like go to the bathroom and fix her hair and shower and all that jazz. And then when she came back, the keys would be on the key ring, and she clearly put them on the washing machine. So that really freaked her out. And sometimes the fan, because it was like the button kind of fan, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That would just go off on its own. I remember the thing that happened more than anything else in that house was that at night, if we left a glass or something out on the table or whatever, we didn't put it away, the next morning when we came back down, the glass was on the floor. Like, usually it was still filled. And at first my dad was like, oh, it's just the dog.
Right.
The dog would not just place a glass on the floor. Like, it would be spilled all over the place if it was the dog. But, like, I don't know. It was just creepy.
Overall, like we said, it's a cool experience to have things weird happen to you that can't necessarily be explained.
A little terrifying, but
yeah,
it's
a little terrifying, but sometimes it depends on the situation. It's really cool, but really scary at the same time. We've had so many different events of supernatural, spiritual, whatever.
Music boxes.
Yeah, stuff happened to us over the past years. But,
shadows.
yeah, creepy, just really creepy stuff. And it's kind of hard to understand when you're the one watching. And like, yeah, right, this stuff never happened.
Yeah, if you
Trust
can't relate
us.
to it, then...
That's alright. We get
Yeah.
it. But if you can't relate, maybe comment down below and let us know some weird ghost, spirit, supernatural thing that's happened to you. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And thanks for watching another video. We'll see you guys next Saturday. Subscribe as well.
Please, that'd be much appreciated.
Yes. And we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Alright, so we can